I've been searching for a gold mine, been digging for a long time, looking for a diamond of the rarest kind. Then one day I found a perfect treasure, a worth of impossible measure. I started to pray, then I heard you say you would forever be mine. I struck love, now that I have found you, I struck love.
Hello, hello. I'm on the West Coast, so good morning, world.
Yeah, really early for you.
And to those of you who are watching, wherever you may be, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. I am Luana Bradford, with co-founder of Celebrate You, embracing her wellness, the amazing Queen Diamond herself, Barbara Beckley. How's it going, Barbara?
Hello. I'm just making sure that I'm sharing the love and the conversation this morning. So I was just sharing it out.
Sharing the love. Yeah, I'll share the love too. Give the love.
See. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful day. I don't know, all of a sudden, lovely day came in my head. All these songs are coming in my head lately this morning. Lovely day. Lovely day.
I know.
Yes.
So how's your week been? This is a holiday weekend for us in the United States, Labor Day.
Yes. And there's one thing I shared with you just yesterday, but there was a few things on my end that has really been, I have to say, some big blessings. And I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna put it like this. Well, no matter what blessings come in your life, always stay humble. Stay humble. Be thankful, be grateful, and just bask in it and celebrate, like we always say. So do those things, and I'm telling you, they continue rolling. So 3 things happened for me, Luana, this week.
Okay.
1, I'm getting closer and closer to the channel, the Diamond Factor Network channel. So I've been really building on that. And I have to think, and this is okay. This goes back to what me and Luana talked about, community and getting information because you don't know, and awareness. So I'm going to put some love here on my side here, my sidekick right here, my partner. Did I doing it right? Yeah. This way, whatever. Luana, let's just say that. her. Reach out to people that know, and maybe you don't know. And it's so important to do that, because why go down a road that you don't know where that road is going, and you know somebody that knows the directions, but you don't ask, or you don't think about it, or the conversations don't happen where you say, oh, you know this road, you know how to get here. In fact, you got the GPS of all this. I need to talk to you. Don't be so like into your world that you don't do that. So saying all that, this magnificent queen, really put me in a path, because I'm doing press releases to get the word out. Like we say, show up, right? Visibility. Hint. And she helped me out a great deal to strategize in a better way to show up with coming with this network. And because to me, it's so important, not just to say, oh, Barbara Beckley has a network. Okay, granted, good. I'm glad I have that. But the biggest thing is I'm trying to get the opportunity for people to bring their gifts to the virtual stage. And that's why it's so important for me to do it the right way. So Queen Luana helped me out with that. And she's consistently always given me so much good knowledge of what she knows, especially when it comes to strategy. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I want to keep up the time, but 2 more things real quickly. So that's one.
No. I want to. Let's take it in little pieces. So, you mentioned the first thing, because you actually mentioned 2. The first thing you mentioned is you had a blessing, and to be humble and to celebrate. And sometimes those unexpected wins come out of nowhere. Sometimes they're planned. And one of the things that Oprah Winfrey stated and continues to say and this is just part of her own philosophy of life. She believes that the more that you show up in gratitude, the more that you are appreciative for life around you and the things that are coming around you, no matter how small, she says the more you will have to be thankful for. So let that sit in for a moment. The more that you are grateful and thankful, the more that you will have to be thankful and grateful for. So, ask yourself, take a check, do a pulse check. When's the last time I was grateful, thankful? Ask yourself, just however small, right? But the thing is gratitude ever really small, right? Do you only celebrate the huge wins? But what about God woke me up this morning, right? You heard the old folks, clothed in my right mind.
See that songs,
right? So it's, are you appreciative for that, for the breath that you have? Being able to get up with, pain-free, whatever it may be. See another day.
Yeah.
Do you say thankful or do you say thank you, or do you take it for granted? There was a post that I saw, and I don't know if I reposted it or not, and we've heard it all before. They said that there are people who didn't wake up today who had plans for today. Right? Because we all have a termination date. We just don't know when that date is. So how are you showing up and living full out in the moment of now? And that goes back to what Barbara was saying, just celebrating. I mean, truly just whatever. Get your happy dance on, your praise dance. I don't know. But what are you doing to show I am grateful?
Yeah.
Barbara.
Oh, you always break things down so nice. Okay, so that's, showing up, being humble. It takes you a long way. I mean, it really does. The other thing, what I wanted to share is that I received a wonderful, amazing letter from the student aid department, basically telling me, Mrs. Barbara J. Beckley, and they had the J there too. I said, wow, they got my whole full name almost. Mrs. Barbara J. Beckley, we're to let you know that since your loan has been between 20 and 25 years, we are issuing you a forgiveness on your total loan. So at this point in time, you are at a zero balance. And I was like, huh? I couldn't do the happy dance right then there because I was just like, look at the letter. I was like, okay, where's the phone number? I gotta call. See that?
Yeah, gotta validate. Got to do a fact check here.
Where's the website? Where's the phone number? I mean, all that was going on. I said, I can't say nothing right now. I gotta validate. But I validated and I validated and validated, and it was totally true. And you know what? Being vulnerable, I'm always trying to be vulnerable because this is going to help somebody. Because a lot of the people getting these letters too, we're finding out. Let's just say it was over 100K of student loans that I was dealing with. And I know some people are like, ooh, woo, what? Yes. Wiped out. Forgiven. Period. And Luana, again, she gave me another tip, which is really important. I'm going out today to get a frame. And I'm going to put that letter in a frame and I'm going to put it up on the wall because that was a blessing. And, me and Luana, we Christians, we believe in God. God just gave that money to pay off in my favor. Really did.
Yeah.
That was something that's been on me for a long time, and huge. And when Luana told me that yesterday, that hit home when she said that. And I cried again, Luana. I did. I cried like a baby a little bit. And I did. And because it was so long. I mean, 25 years dealing with that. And then some people like the pandemic came. I said, well, in a sense, that kind of helped too, because it kind of postpones some things. And then look what happened out of that. So you never know where your gifts and your blessings are coming from. And be thankful
Yeah,
then. Yeah.
exactly. And in that example, I was sharing with Barbara, the Bible talks about the year of Jubilee, and that's where debt was forgiven over a 7-year period. And that's why I suggested, hey, frame that, this is and claim this is the beginning of my Jubilee. So be expecting these blessings, because God says that not only will I pour into you blessings that overtake you, but he also says the other part of that scripture is men will pour into your bosom, right? So he'll have men showing up. So this Biden administration came up with this program that, based upon certain criteria, said we're going to forgive these debts. I mean, that is so huge. And when you think about it, as a business owner, yeah, we invest in ourselves all the time, but to know that you've got someone just basically, not someone, I mean, it's the American public wrote a check and said paid in full.
I had to sit. I'm telling you what, I had to sit there. I'm just looking at this letter, just sitting there. I think I couldn't do no work because it came around, work day, and I couldn't do no work for like an hour and a half because I just kept looking at that letter like, this is how much. This is great. Yes. So that happened. So my third thing, and then I'll make sure, because I know you have some lovely things to share too, is well, first of all, somebody referred me to this magazine called Upward. And I'm always looking, like me and Luana's always talking about, always what you're showing up, giving that visibility of what you're doing, be it in your business or being something that you might be working on that you love and you want people to know about, right? So I'm always searching and looking, and got a referral regarding this magazine. Well, I was gonna put a little article in there, just say, hey, my name is Barbara Beckley and what's coming up, just real cute article. So when they kind of looked at what I was doing, and they said, we would really like for you to be on the cover. Would you mind doing that? I was like, huh? Cover? I said, really? They said, yeah. So you could do an article, do a teachable moment in there. We'll have your picture in the front, because we really like what you're doing when you're talking about moving forth and all that, with the PPD and the purpose, passion, and drive. So I was like, wow. Again, see, Luana keeps coming into this stuff. This is third time Luana thing. I know Luana's like, what?
What I do?
He's doing all this. He's dropping these golden nuggets. So she told me, she said, a long time ago, Barbara, you need to, what are you doing? PPD, would you just keep putting that out there? So this was giving me a platform now to say, okay, let me put it out there. They're giving me this opportunity. Let me put that out there. So they gave me the opportunity. It was a September edition. It just came out yesterday. I kind of posted it out there to people on the link, and humbled all over again for them to even consider me to say, we would like to have you on the front cover of the magazine. So Luana, see, you did it again. You're teaching me some things. And see, I got to catch up with you, because if you notice, Luana, I kind of told myself, I got to catch up with Luana. I got to catch up with her. We got to be together in this. So saying all that, it goes back to your why and how strong you are in it. See, I always say, Luana, if you're not strong in your why, then you're just sitting on the sidelines. Don't do that, because your gifts are so important. So I had to say, I had that opportunity.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that opportunity. I mean, how did it come? How did it come about for you? I mean, how did they even? Because you and I, we're working right now with a small group of women, and it's on going from hidden to seen. And you have this message, purpose, passion, and drive, which you have been, sprinkling, teasing people with for the past 4 years. But now I think you're really starting to own it. So how did you even get to the point where someone is saying, oh, we like your message, and by the way, we'd like to have you on this cover?
Yeah. So like I said, I basically was looking for opportunities to really talk about what's coming up for October for myself, the network. So I've been looking for either, doing press releases, getting the magazines, getting on people's stages, and that's what we do. That's what we want to do. We either look or they're looking for us. And that's even more awesome when somebody's looking for you, say, hey, we want you to be on there. So I look for them by just putting just wanting to put a small, article in there. And they turned around and looked at what I was doing in LinkedIn and in Facebook and YouTube, brought up my YouTube channel. And they see I was on E360 TV and they were like, that's when they said, would you mind? And what's so nice about it, they didn't even charge me for the fee for that part of it because it was a bigger, I think it was a
break that down. Explain what you mean by that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. So they, because it was just a certain charge just to have a little article in there. But when they came back to me and said, we would like to have you on the front cover because of what you're doing and what your message is about, they basically didn't charge me for the front cover cost that would have been because they wanted me to, be on the cover of it. They asked me. So right then and there, I was, again, a little surprised, but not too surprised to say yes. My mother didn't raise no fool. What you say, LaWanda? Take the opportunity. What are you talking about? Say yes. So I'm so glad to say yes, because if you read this article, I really poured in a lot of my story in different sections of it to get to the point where the PPD came alive. And also gave some teachable moments on really what the PPD means, purpose, passion, drive in more detail. Because a lot of people ask me that. They'd be like, well, Barbara, we hear you say PPD, LaWanda talking about your PPD, everybody, well, what is it? What is really a detail of it? So I said, it's time to really put that out there. So this was kind of like the introduction for the PPD, for purpose, passion, drive, to really lay it out there.
Yeah, that's huge. You said that, first of all, an opportunity came your way. And sometimes we allow fear of the unknown to get in our way. And you could have said, well, it's really not time, or I don't know, I'm not ready. But you have to be ready in season and out of season, because you never know when that knock's going to come. And to be able to be featured in this magazine and on the cover. But I think there's one thing that you're forgetting to share with this audience, is it is a international magazine. Is that correct?
Yeah, from India. So now, not only that, it's been posted on their website and, posted where I've been posting it, but their whole contacts, they told me this morning that they said, Barbara, we've been sharing yours out through the whole India nation, they call it, in a sense. And they said they're getting a lot of feedback saying that they're really loving and reading, the tips and the story of what I put out there. So that's international. And that's huge for me, because I always say, go global to share your gift, because you don't know who you're touching. Don't stay in that box. Don't stay in the, you need to be broad. So when he's told me that, I was like, really? Yay. Oh, look at LaWanda. She's so sweet. I knew she was doing something. She's always doing. She always back.
It's like, what's she doing?
She always do something, create something like this. Well, thank you, LaWanda.
And I want to just pause right. You're welcome. I want to pause right there, because again, going back to what I kind of glossed over it, the from hidden to seen training that we're doing, it's a series, and then we're actually going to roll it out to a bigger audience in the next few months. But this series is showing you how to scale your visibility. And again, what does visibility mean to you? And it's one thing to say, okay, look at me, I'm in Upwards, it's it's international, here's my article, yay, and you put it aside. But now, how do you take this and bring it to life? How do you breathe into it so that it becomes this partner, if you will, this marketing partner in your business? Because now Barbara doesn't have to necessarily fly over to India, right? She's touching these people. So there is, and this is a conversation she and I will have outside of this show, but there are some things that she can do to now start to position herself there and perhaps get on other stages, or again, creating those introductions. But it starts with the first step, right? So
the first step.
I think there's a saying, the journey of a million miles begins first with one step. So if you're saying, okay, I want to be this major influencer, I want to create this global impact, I want to be able to generate income so I can create legacy, well, what steps are you taking? Because I can talk all day long about what I want. The question is, what are you doing? What are you willing to do? Because again, Barbara had to do something with this. She had to get it from here to paper, and it had to be sold in a convincing way that not only did they want it in the magazine, but they said, you know what, we need to put your face up here too. So pretty big deal, I would say.
Yeah, thank you, Queen. And another, okay, just to give props, because I'm telling you, this has been needed anyway, giving you a lot of love here. The picture you see in the front there, Luana Bradford, she helped me, because I was like, Luana, I don't have no pictures. I haven't really did a photo shoot, and I don't have that type of time. It's the second, but I'm getting into magazines and stuff, and I need a picture. And she said, well, show me, send me some of your pictures and let's see what kind of magic I can do. Look what she did. The magic is there. I get so many compliments for that. I mean, so many compliments from that picture. So thank you.
And that's the other thing that we train, as we talk about how to create visibility on a budget, right? Because everyone should have a budget in your marketing, in your promotion. So whatever your budget is, how do you create that visibility? And obviously, there's technologies and things that you can use. You have your different professional arenas, but again, getting with the right people to help you elevate your game, whether it's in imagery, whether it's in copy, what video, whatever you're doing. And I think that's the key, is plugging in. And with the Bradford group, TBG Media Group that I have, and Barbara has Diamond Factor Media, we're able to help that small business owner and entrepreneur not only position themselves, both in video, static imagery, and on stages and stuff, in a way that gets results. And I think that's the thing I'm excited about, is everything we teach, and I'm going to toss it to you, Barbara, we're applying, like this program that we're testing. We are applying it right now, and the results are phenomenal. I mean, the things that you start to attract and pull in, and you just build on that momentum and just keep going and going and going and going. Barbara.
Yes. I mean, I always tell people, if you're going to have that credibility, expertise in what you're talking about, your business, then you need to be doing it. You need to be showing that, hey, I've done this. Because it's just like, you come to somebody and they want, I always use the financial part of it, and they want to make a 6-digit figure. They want to consistently do that. And if you haven't even done that, but then you want to teach it, you want to show it, and that's in your blood, and that's your why, but you haven't done it, then it's questionable there. That's all I have to say. It's questionable to people. So I always say that if I'm talking about visibility, I'm talking about you need to show up. I'm talking about that you need to put yourself out there. I'm talking about you be confident in you and believe in you. And I'm not doing it. How am I going to tell somebody else, another queen, to do that? That's to me, that's my accountability to myself for you,
And we'll get back to that, because we want to talk a little in the second part about how to vet, right? Like you said, how to vet to make sure that you are creating allyship, partnership with the right people to help you move your needle in the direction you want to go, not the direction they're trying to drive you to. So we'll be right back. to those of you who are celebrating in the United States, happy Labor Day weekend to you. And truly take time, sometime during this weekend, if it's the whole weekend or a few hours, to rest, right? Because Labor Day is about celebrating you and all of our contributions to this amazing nation. So take time to rest. Do you for just give yourself 2 hours at a minimum. Find the time and just rest from your labor.
Self-care is real. So that's what you said. Rest. Take that time for yourself. You deserve it. You've been working.
You deserve a break today. Okay, we're not going to be promoting fast food, but anyway. Back to, so thank you for those of you who are joining us on Coffee and Conversations, either live or the replay. I'm Luana Bradford with my co-founder, Barbara Beckley here. And Coffee and Conversations comes at you only one day out of the month, the first Saturday of every month, typically at 10 a.m. Eastern. Today, we're starting a little bit late because it is the holiday weekend. So we were giving you a little time to get a little more sleep in. But we're talking about gratitude. We're talking about visibility. And Barbara has shared some amazing things. If you missed it, this is what we were talking about just now, is her feature article and the fact that she's a cover feature on Upwards magazine out of India. And the one thing that I'd like us to talk about now, Barbara, is vetting. Vetting that that coach, that mentor. How do you know who to link arms with to help you prime the pump, get clarity, and move forward? Because everyone who has the term coach and mentor on their website, social media, is maybe coach and mentor in name only. Barbara.
You hit that on the spot. Yes. I know, for one, before you even start, because you got to do some pre-work. And the pre-work is you need to write down, and it's funny, I was just telling somebody just yesterday that write down everything that you are looking for within your business. Okay, since we're talking about business, right? Write down everything that you're looking for that you need to do, where you're trying to go. You know, the mission, your value. I know that you write that down, but just write everything that you need, something that you know and something that you don't know, but what you need for your business. So do your pre-work first, your homework for yourself. And then that makes it a little bit easier. So when you start looking around for coaches and consultants, you already have your, I call it boundaries to a certain extent, because now you're like, okay, you look at this coach, you wrote down something that you need, you see what they do, you're kind of looking at their bio, you look at their way of coaching, all that. You got to look at all that. Then you're like, this is not measuring right. Or the opposite. Oh, looks like it's connecting with what I want. So let me talk to this particular coach. But I always say, do the pre-work first for yourself before you go out and start just looking around. Because I'm telling you, if you don't do that first, you are going to be all over the place, and you're going to get like caught up and confused and say, oh yeah, that one. Oh no, maybe that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you may have too many that have conflicting messages and processes of how to get you to the end of the road. And so Barbara gave one thing about your pre-work, and I'm going to give you another tip. And if you, again, want more information, reach out to either me or Barbara, and we'll help you do a deeper dive. But the one thing is, look for the t-shirt. I always say, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Why? Because that is proof of results. That is someone who has the battle scars. That is someone who has gone through this road that you're trying to travel, and is showing, not only did I come out on the other side, but I can go back and tell you how to do it. See, sometimes you have people who may have gone through something, but they don't know how to teach what they did. They just happen to luck into it. But if you say, well, how did you do it? Well, I really don't know. But if you have someone that could say, oh yeah, I can tell you the methods I use. I can tell you the roadblocks that I had to get through. I can tell you about the mind shifts that I had to make. And this is the process. This is the formula that I use for success, not once, but over and over again. And you may say, well, okay, well, if that person went through it, what are you saying? They have to keep doing it again? No, I'm saying they've done it. They got the t-shirt. Now they've taught over and over again. They keep sharing that system, and they're getting these testimonials of results from others. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what you want to be able to do, Barbara.
Yeah, it's really important to see, you know, like you said, go, and it's okay to ask those questions to them. That's another thing I want to put out there too, because I had a conversation a few days ago where I was asking questions to this particular, I'm not gonna say the name, we'll just leave it. This is just for example, and they got irritated with me. They literally got irritated with me, like,
no, go through that. I remember you sharing that. Yeah, let's do a deep dive in that. It's actually funny.
So I was basically, you know, like you said, being this particular opportunity I was looking at with them, and I wrote down my questions. In fact, I have a template of questions that I have together where I go when I'm looking at opportunities to make sure that I'm covering all of my check marks, because I want to make sure if I'm going to invest in you, if it's, you know, be it time or money, then yeah, I'm going to ask some questions. So call the person. They sent me all the information. Okay, you get this, and this package includes this. It's okay, good. Thank you for your package. Thank you for the price. Now I need to talk to you because I have some more questions. And it was funny because when I said that to them, they were kind of taken back a little, like, oh, well, what other? I thought I kind of answered all. What do you know, like what? That's what they were like looking at me. I was like, yeah, I have some questions if you don't mind. So, you know, a few days later, they took the time, you know, we did a 30-minute call, called them, talked. I was in my 5th question because I had 20. And she's like, look, wait, you know, hold. Wait. Where are all these questions coming from, Barbara? I mean, it's not, she even told me, she says, not like it's rocket scientist. She said, you have this, and this. You know, I answer you questions. You know what? Then she turned around and said, what, you don't trust what we're giving you? You got, you know, are you questioning this? Now, before I wasn't trying to question that, but then after she said that, yeah, now I'm questioning. Like, okay, why are you saying that to me? And I'm just making sure that I'm doing my due diligence to what I'm investing in. You want $3,000 from me. I need to see what's going on with this. And you shouldn't mind me asking the questions. That's just me. But it all worked out to the point where
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we chuckled when Barbara shared it with me, but there's so many nuances in that, right? So Barbara has interest. So she's a potential client and she's leaning in. It's like, wow, this sounds like something I need. Obviously, they did some problem identification, and this person is like, yeah, I can provide this solution. Barbara's like, great, okay, this is a significant investment. I need to make sure I'm placing my money in the right place. But then when the person started getting defensive, red flag, warning, slow your roll, back it up. Why would you get defensive if someone's asking you for clarification, if someone's asking you for proof of concept, if someone's asking you for testimonials? Why get defensive? If you are trying to win a client, it's building that relationship. We say we do business with people we know, like, and trust. Well, right there, that was a trust violation. In my opinion, that was a trust violation. You're asking a question, and they're like, "Oh yeah, wait, I'm out, get back." You know, it's like, really?
And really got upset. I mean, she was like highly upset at me. To the point she said, you know what, if you don't want to do this is like a time waster for both of us. I was like, yeah, so you got that right. So we're gonna cut this conversation.
Yeah, so keep on walking, right?
You just
as Dionne Warwick would say, walk on by.
Yeah.
I want to show you some examples of I'm going to put up 3 testimonials that I've received. And I actually received these testimonials. Let me back up. You have testimonials and you have endorsements,
Mm.
right? So endorsements may be people who are in your same lane of business. It may be a bigger enterprise that is saying, I am using my credibility to say this is a person who you can trust. I'm linking my brand with theirs to say, yes, I endorse, I support them. A testimonial is someone who's used your product and services and saying, yes, they are who they said they are, and I love them, and blah, 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 or I didn't love them. You can use testimonials both negative and positive to your favor. But these are endorsements. And I would encourage you all, if you do not have endorsements, challenge yourself. We're in September, 2nd of September. Before the end of the year, get 3 endorsements from your partners, someone who may be at a higher game than you, and they don't have to be in the same industry, but someone who has built solid credibility in who they are. They have that reputation, right? And that's what you want to lean on. That's what you want to leverage. So the first one, and let me, here we go. I'll read this to you. This is RJ Spann, retired Lieutenant Colonel. He's with the RJ Spann Group, and is actually one of my longest term business partners. And he said, we at RJ Spann Group highly endorse and applaud the great effort Luana Bradford and the Bradford Group have undertaken to promote equity and success for females nationwide and globally. Luana's outreach to women in America and internationally has truly empowered women to achieve greatness and thus have an everlasting positive impact on all humanity. Now, I want to pause right there because he's speaking a very specific language, right? He's talking about women empowerment. Often when you ask someone to endorse you, again, different from a testimonial, they're going to say, what do you want me to say? What would you like me to say? Be prepared to position what it is for this particular thing in the work that I'm doing with women. It was important to have individuals who've seen me in this landscape, who've evaluated me in this landscape, and who could articulate their view of me in the lane of Luana working with the empowerment of women, right? So the next one, this is Hank Stewart. Hank Stewart is an Emmy Award-winning poet laureate. He's been on some of the biggest stages and has networked with some of the largest names out there, especially within your Black and Brown communities, and even with President and Michelle Obama. So a man of incredible presence and influence, and again, a renown in his lane of expertise. And he said, there is a quote that says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. If you educate a woman, you educate a nation. The Bradford Group has been educating and empowering women across the country. The work ethics of phenomenal women cannot be measured. I am not only glad, but I'm honored to support Luana Bradford. So again, it's in that same lane of empowerment, because I was using this and am still using this for a purpose. As I said, these were what I'm showing you. This is what we talk about evergreen. These were written 4 years ago. Well, now I'm bringing it back because there's some other things that are happening that make this even more relevant today than before, because now I've got this track record in partnership with Barbara on this platform of Celebrate You, Embracing Her Wellness, of over 1,400 women in over 10 nations around the world. So now I'm saying this, but then boom, here's a confirmation. Other people who are not in my lane, who can echo what I'm saying about myself. And this last one, many of you may know Nancy Matthews, who is also a member of our community, but she's a co-founder of Women's Prosperity Network and the author of The One Philosophy. And she said, Luana Bradford and the Bradford Group are leaders worth following. Their commitment to helping women reach the highest versions of themselves in their lives, their careers, and in business shines through everything they do. Whether through Luana's inspirational and educational training or providing women platforms for their voices, the Bradford Group is leading the way in how every business can have their mission infused throughout everything they do. So that's, and I have others. So, as I've gone through, this journey, depending on who people are, I'm like, hey, would you mind writing me an endorsement? And I don't write it for them because I don't want this to be Luana's words, but every single one of them have said, what do you want me to write about? What specifically do you need? And again, you go to people who know you, because if Hank was to be like, if Hank had said, well, okay, I know you, but I don't know about you, how would he have been able to write something? And I think for me, that's the beauty of these endorsements. It's their words. It's their truth. So again, I just challenge you all, if you are looking to create visibility, if you're looking to leverage the influence of others in their position to help elevate your brand and your message and establish credibility, ask yourself, who can endorse me? And I'm not saying peer-to-peer. Who can endorse me? Truly endorse me. Not, okay, let's make up this message, because what if someone interviews them? What if someone actually wants to verify you are who you say they are, and they pick up the phone and they call and they ask them some certain questions, but they're not able to go deep. It's very shallow. So, or they may say, hey, give me an example. You mentioned, Luana does great on her platform. Give me an example. Where have you seen this? So you want to make sure there's legitimacy in those who are endorsing you, as well as, the testimonials that you're getting. And if you do get a bad review, which if you're in business long enough, you're not going to please everyone, don't shy away from it. If it hits your website, if it hits social media, wherever, if it's a Google review, have your back office or whoever's in your customer service, or it may be you, respond. Acknowledge, okay, we're sorry you had this experience. This is what we're going to change differently. You may be listed in the Better Business Bureau. Pay attention to that. People may be reporting unfavorable comments about you, but if you don't go and review what might be said about you, it's just out there for anyone to sort of guess and decide, do I want to really do business with them or not? So always assess your reputational credit. And one of the things Barbara and I say all the time is Google yourself at least at a minimum every other month. How are you popping up? If Barbara says, Barbara J. Beckley, what's popping up? Or is it only what Barbara has put up about herself? Okay, that's fine. You're out there. But again, if I'm vetting you, all I see is what you're saying about you. I don't see what other people are saying about you. And that's the other thing. So let's go back to magazines and other things that might be promoting you. You want to ask, where will this sit? Who will see this? Is it searchable on Google? Real important, because all publications are not. Some could just be an internal publication. It could be a flip book. It doesn't minimize it. But now you have to say, okay, if it's not on Google, it's not searchable on Google, how can I get it on Google through my own means so that it's searchable, right? It's not just an image, it's searchable. And there are ways to do that. So that's something to think about when you're thinking about your visibility. Is you want to work with the algorithms, right? When people are looking for you. So Barbara, like right now, if you Google yourself, we'll do a little exercise with Barbara. What's the first three things that you see on you?
See, I got it.
Because I want you to do it. I want you to do it two ways. I want you to do the diamond factor, and then I want you to do just by your name.
Oh, okay.
And just tell us what you see. And if you're watching, you do this along with her. If you have your business name, put your business name in Google and see what comes up. And hopefully it's more than just your website. And if it's your name, put it up, and hopefully it's more than just a Facebook post. or an
Okay.
Instagram post.
So I put in the Diamond Factor network, and the first thing popped up was Digital Journal News announcing the platform. That was the first thing. Second thing, it looks like is my landing page. And then there's another article that's being listed for that as well. So those are the three things so far.
Okay, so Barbara just checked her Diamond Factor network, which is going to be coming out in October. And as she said, the first thing that popped up was the announcement of it on Digital Journal. Digital Journal, if you don't know, is a reputable resource. It's a reputable news source. So it's telling you, okay, there's a third party article that was picked up and is announcing it. So now the question is, okay, that's there. How do I use it? How do I leverage it for more? Right? Again, how do you build upon it? But again, that's good. So what about Barbara? What do we see on that side? What we're doing, if you're wondering, why are they quiet? We're doing a little challenge, and it's for you to join with us. How visible are you currently on? If you look on Google, what comes up? So Google by your name, and the second Google by your business name, and tell us what top 3 things come up for you. Is it just your post or your website, or do you see any third-party endorsements or other posts from other people?
Well, the first thing for Barbara, well, I put Barbara J. Beckley. Well, I got my LinkedIn first. And then I have the second one. It has members empowerment women profile. My profile's there in the Kenosha area. And then my basically my website after that.
Okay. So I'm going to do a quick Google, and we're going to talk about, there's always opportunity to improve and expand. And that's why just I look at it once a month. It's sort of like my housekeeping, but you always want to see, what's popping up. And especially if you have a name that other people may have the name, right? So you may want to word yourself in a different way. So I've got, I do a lot of posting on LinkedIn. So I've got LinkedIn, I have Facebook, my Instagram pieces, Amazon, Twitter, and then it's got Stardom magazine. So showing me on the cover in July. And then I have Business Innovators Network. And that's now where it's talking about the strategic planning for you, etc. But I may want to say Luana Bradford and the Bradford Group, right? I want to be really, really specific, or I may want to say before a certain date and to see what pops up. And when I did that, this is where my mortgage company comes up. It talks about business spotlight, serial entrepreneur and global leader with blogger. There's a business innovator. There's Spreaker. So this is now showing some of my speaking engagements. But if I put up in the Bradford Group, so I'm looking at this, it's like, okay, that's good, but I want to get some other third-party things. So this is for me, because things will start to not necessarily roll off because it's always present on the internet, but it will go down in the rankings. It may not be the thing that populates to the top. So with the Bradford Group, when I put the Bradford Group, there is a ton of companies called the Bradford Group. So I have to put the Bradford Group, and I'll do mortgages specifically so that I can see what pops up for my company. And that's where I'll have things from YouTube, again, the most recent stuff, Stardom release, etc. Another thing that's always good is to see what images may pop up under your name. And that may be where you've been on different shows. So like when I look at the Bradford Group mortgages, I'll see like a LinkedIn post, right? But it's not my LinkedIn post. It was done from the Mortgage Voice, a national radio show that I was featured on. I see another post that I didn't post. Business Innovators Network Radio. I see another post that I didn't post on LinkedIn, and this is where I was on the business development and revenue focused late night radio show. So it's kind of interesting to see like who might be posting things that you've been on, where you've posted it. Here's another one on LinkedIn, and it's talking about a radio interview. But again, that's not something that I posted. It's what someone else did. What you can do in those situations, let's say you didn't know, you didn't see that post, but by doing images, it's like, oh, Barbara can see, oh, whoever, Sanjeev from India posted X about this article. Now that allows you to go in and start talking, right? Don't just leave it static, and stop just doing the lazy thumbs up and hearts. If you really want to show up in your field of expertise and authority, say something. Anyone can do a thumbs up and a heart. To me, that's lazy branding. Especially if it's someone's posted something about you, say something. Wow, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being on this, in this magazine. I encourage all of you to go and read it. Here's a link. Right now you're creating this win-win, and people are going to want to work with you again. So think about it. How are you showing up for yourself and for others when we're talking about building that visibility?
Yeah,
and
I like
think about again your responses on social media. If you really don't have the time, I would prefer to see nothing than a lazy thumbs up. You're saying you're an authority, and that's all you got. And this is Luana's opinion. Then say nothing.
I like how you put the little added to this is Luana's opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's not. There are times when it's like, yeah, I just want to do a heart. I want to show support. I want to whatever. But if you see like, wow, someone just wrote something about PPD, and all I'm like is, yay, thank you. Aren't you the PPD expert? That's all. That's all you've got. Okay. People are watching you through different filters and making decisions about whether they want to work with you based on how you're showing up in your boldness and in your authority and in your genius. And sometimes we're hiding under a rock out of fear of, will they like me? Will they accept me? Will they reject me? Just do you, and the right people will come. Yeah. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, I know with time, just wanted to say, just to connect with what you were saying when you went to show the endorsements. And the one thing I wanted to mention is when you think about it, and because Luana, like she said, was strategy epitome. That's a strategy method. It's a strategy. Sometimes the people that you pick to ask for endorsements should be a strategy, like she said. So this is part of visibility. See, I always want, whatever we talk about, I always want people to still always go to that. This is important for visibility. Because then I don't think it'd be so, then people get the awareness of, oh, that's visibility. Oh, doing that. Oh, that's part of visibility. See, if you connect all that to visibility, then you can start saying in your mind, okay, now I understand even more on not only having the tools and how to do the tools, but how to put it out there and do product placement for yourself and a whole bunch. That's a whole nother teaching. But I'm just saying that's something that goes back to visibility of yourself. Period.
And that's huge what you're saying. So with visibility, Leontyne is a small jewelry line, and they reached out to me, and in fact I will be showing their commercials on some of my shows beginning next month. So it's like, okay, I got a sponsorship. Well, what did I get in return? I got some jewelry. I've got this one little cute little tiny charm piece that I'm wearing, and it says happiness right here from them, and earrings, and there is a necklace. But that's a way, again, to get this third party, like you said, product placement, that now I can showcase on my platform. And the agreement is by me being the ambassador, as they call it. If I share their link and it's tagged to me, then I get rewards. So the rewards may be extra jewelry, the rewards may be monetary, but that's a way that you can get big product lines to start coming on your show. And then the more that you have on your show, then it might expand to the larger ones. Cyrus Webb is one that, because of his partnership with Amazon as an Amazon influencer, is getting huge product placements on his platform. And there's obviously contractual agreements and terms behind the scenes, but there are ways that you can start to go that lane without saying, well, I want Coca-Cola or I want McDonald's. You gotta show something first. I just got let me just tell you who reached out to me actually last night, and I said I would review it this weekend. It's another one. They saw me on Instagram, and it's called, the company's called Ono Vibe, and so they have wallets and keychains and hats and like Maserati type branding and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, I think I might do that. And what do I get? I get to pick four items, so that they said, we want to see you with it, wearing it, whatever, so I can promote and endorse it. So that's an example of product placement. So again, the more you're visible, and when people start to resonate with your message, it's like, hey, I think, yeah, you might be a good voice for what we're trying to do. And it may not be a product, it may be a cause, right? It could be goodwill, it could be Habitat for Humanity. You never know.
Yes.
Well, we are almost out of time. Actually, I think we are out of time.
Yeah. So this has been good. CC, as I say, Coffee and Conversation every month, the first Saturday of the month.
Yes.
And as always, get your conversation going, build those relationships, as we're saying. I want to end it at that, because this is where all this is coming from. Just building relationships. Everything that we said, tips that we said, teachable moments, stories, the laughter we talk about, it's building conversations with each other. And that's what it's all about. So with that said, Luana, we're going to put our hearts up.
Hearts up.
Why did I just do a complete blank after I put the heart up?
Love yourself.
I was about to say love each other. Love yourself. That too. Yes. Love yourself. Embrace yourself. But whatever you do, celebrate you.
Celebrate you. Bye, everyone.